You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
We do have a special guest with us. Nick is with us. He is actually in Roatan, or works out of Roatan, at warfighterscuba.org.
Sorry, I have an editorial correction. It's warfighterscuba.org.
Oops. Sorry,
Thank
Nick. Wouldn't be
No
that would
worries.
be the first time ever that I've made a mistake on this show.
Today.
Nick, welcome to Scuba Radio. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me, Greg.
Yep, absolutely. So now Nick is involved in a new project going on at Jules Undersea Lodge down there in the Key Largo area and the Florida Keys. Project Neptune 100, which this starts March 1st, so we're about a month away, a little less than a month away, and they're going to put a couple people down there, or at least one person, for 100 days straight underwater in that underwater habitat at Jules Undersea Lodge. We've been there before.
Can I nominate Barry?
No.
Second that.
Okay. Well,
I've been down there before. That's where I took my rescue course, so I like that lodge.
okay. All right. Well, it's actually an honor to be down there. It's not punishment.
Okay, never mind.
So, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, you know, Nick is part of this with his organization, warfighterscuba.org. So, Nick, let me just ask you first, how are you involved in this project exactly? Or how did you become involved with it?
So Dr. Deturi kind of heard about us and what we're doing with the veteran community and healing, PTSD and physical wounds from combat through scuba diving.
Mm-hmm.
And he invited us to come down and basically be a part of his mission, which is exposing, the world to ocean conservation, trying to come up with new medical procedures from, things we can harvest from the ocean, to fight cancer and other ailments. On top of it being, the longest time any human has stayed under pressure.
I like
by
it.
a significant amount.
Yeah. Now, Joe Deturi, now he's going to be the guy who's actually the one that's going to spend the 100 days underwater. And then, he's
sir.
going to be monitoring, they're going to monitor his health and all this kind of stuff because he's going to be under pressure for a very long time. So he's going to be the one guy to do this. And then different groups throughout the 100 days are going to visit. Are you visiting yourself, Nick? Or are you
Yes,
going to
sir.
send somebody? Oh, you are. Okay. So
No, I've
you
never
don't-
been to this place. I got certified when I was 12 years old, a long time ago. And I've always wanted to go to this place. So, this just works out perfect.
yeah.
It'll be me and a couple of our veterans are going to dive down and say hi to Joe underwater.
I love it. Yeah, warfighterscuba.org, by the way. It's there's a bunch of these type of organizations that help folks that were in the armed forces, like you said, get through PTSD issues or just being at war and seeing things that none of us want to see. And they come home and they have problems. And then you take them scuba diving just to kind of, quiet down the outside world, or they may have physical challenges or whatever. And you just help them, give them a mission, so to speak, and help them get through, getting back to being a normal person again, I guess. Right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I started this 2017. I've been in Roatan full time. I moved down here for some other personal reasons that I was kind of going through with my PTSD, and it was not to start a nonprofit to help other vets. It was to be pretty selfish, to be honest with you. And got back into diving, and it really unscrewed my head.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward now, there's obviously other organizations out there that help a lot of disabled people as well as military, where we focus more specific on combat wounds.
Yeah.
I served in Iraq back in 2006 with 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines. And then I did some private security contracting all over Iraq after that until about 2012. So I've been in combat zones for quite a significant amount of time in my life. And that kind of allows me to have more of an impact with these guys and gals that come through, because I kind of understand, I've been rocketed and mortared. I've never been blown up myself, but
Right.
I understand what it's like to be in those situations where some of these other organizations, they might get into those conversations and not really have an idea of how to discuss that, So, and we help NATO. So it's not just the U.S. Armed Forces. We help anybody that was over there helping us.
Yeah.
We weren't the only people. And I think that's kind of what makes us a little bit different.
Well, we can never say thank you for your service more. But, I love these type of stories and these type of organizations that you're doing because, we've been fortunate enough to go hang with some of them at different events, whether maybe we'll meet you guys down there at Jules Undersea Lodge while they're doing this and join them and hanging with a couple of the guys. But, we can't really relate because we didn't go through that. But, boy, you can really see it in their eyes, just like you're seeing a new diver. And
Yep.
you can see they light up, and you can only imagine that this really works. And you speak from personal experience, because, once again, we can't see inside your head. But yeah, I can only imagine, the trauma that, these scenes that you guys have had to deal with in your lives. And the fact that scuba diving in particular has turned into a activity that helps you shut it down a little bit, or like you said, get back to normal. And I've heard this story time and time again from the guys that go through it. And it's just, it just makes you appreciate being a diver. When you hear these kind of things that, gosh, we're doing something that actually helps these guys get through some of the trauma that they've had to deal with, and it just kind of makes you feel just that much better as a diver in general, I think. You get that a lot from not just your military friends, but people like me. I mean, do you get that?
Of course.
Yeah, the support.
I mean, you guys get the same benefits, right? And
Yeah.
you just might not have realized it, but you realize it, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
you
exactly.
get thrown into like the present moment. You talk to any of these life coaches or therapists, they always tell you got to focus on like the present. That's the only way that you can truly be free. And scuba gives you that the second you drop underwater.
Yeah.
You either fight it or you go with it, and you're just at peace with everything. And that's one of the things that that mentally helps these guys and gals. And then if when you start getting into the amputees, I've had multiple double amputees that haven't walked for 13 years. They're stuck to a chair and they're weightless, like you said.
The equalizer is scuba diving, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Their eyes lighting up is it's one of the most rewarding experiences to see. I've taught regular divers, and I'm not knocking, their excitement is so addicting as well. But when you see somebody who's been restricted to a chair and immobile light up, it's like I don't know, it's like a drug hitting you. It's incredible.
Well, it really is. Nick is our guest from Warfighter Scuba. .org. We're gonna Nick, can you hang over for another segment? I got more questions for you. He's in Roatan. We got to talk to him about some of the diving opportunities they have there. He's living in a pretty active scuba diving area. We'll get more with him next on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Warfighter Scuba.org. Look it up. Nick Powers is his name. He's based out of Roatan. And you're going to bring a couple of your military friends that go through the program that you do there in Roatan, which is basically take these guys who've, got out of the armed forces, get them back on track into civilian life by taking them scuba diving, or at least give them, an opportunity to heal underwater.
Yes,
and so you plan to bring a couple of them to this Neptune project while Joe Turri is going to be underwater for 100 days. That's the idea, right, Nick?
Yes, sir. I'd love to introduce them to some of them and give them the opportunity to see something, pretty crazy itself with the underwater habitat. So,
yeah. It is a pretty cool thing. I mean, you're only about, 20, 30 feet underwater, but it's like, living in an underwater bus kind of thing, and that you can get pizza delivered underwater. It's a pretty cool little setup they have down there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been wanting to see it since I was 12, and,
yeah.
30 some odd years later.
Right.
No.
It used to be quite the scientific thing.
I hear the anchovies are fresh.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's funny. And but it's turned into more of like an underwater hotel over the years. But initially, it was a scientific research facility that was sank off the shores off the East Coast, and scientists would go do all this underwater research and that kind of thing. And it's turned into more of like, hey, you want to do something cool? You can go stay there for a night underwater. And they're, they do scientific projects, every now and then. They're going to be doing some of that stuff as part of this 100 days underwater. I would imagine, just the fact having someone underwater for 100 days is going to be, they can get some research out of that. Because being underwater. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's going to, I wouldn't want to be him, to be honest with you, because that's a long, that's a long time. Curious. But we'll get Joe on eventually on the show. We'll talk to him of how he's preparing for this thing. And who knows, maybe we'll come out there and join him for a few days, because that's what's going to happen. He'll be down there 100 days, and then during the project, while it's going on, people are going to come down. They're going to bring down school kids for a few days, and they may have a sleepover or something, I guess. You know, we may have the Scuba Radio people. You may have the Warfighter Scuba.org folks come down. There's going to be a bunch of folks visiting him to keep them, I guess, distracted over those 100 days. Barry the Bugger,
Keep 'em sane.
Yeah, or sane, right, or insane if it's Barry the Bugger that shows up in the portal
Right,
there.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you're down there for 100 days in essentially 33, 35 feet of water, whether you would have to decompress
Yes, of course.
just for that short amount of,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, it's surface
of height.
supplied air, but yeah, absolutely, that's a factor, right, Nick? I mean, do you know anything about that yourself, or just
Oh,
as much
man.
as we do, probably, huh?
I probably just as much as you guys. Yeah, there's an old adage in the Marine Corps. You know, we have to take this special like course called Math for Marines.
Yeah,
So any kind of
math
mathematical
sucks.
things like that with the, you know, nitrogen buildup and stuff. I just
Right. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, it's no different than sending somebody to go live on the moon, because they have to have 24/7 surveillance of the underwater habitat to make sure nothing happens, because you got to have the gases set properly for
Right.
everybody in the habitat. You know, I mean, it's a pretty high-tech thing. You know, you got to be paying attention, and so, you know, you have to have there's a lot of work that goes into maintaining you know, a facility like this. So, you know, I think this is going to get a lot of publicity, which is good for what they do down there. And once again, you know, it's kind of a cool thing to do. You can go down there and book a night stay at Jules Undersea Lodge and just do it, you know, mark it off the list kind of thing, and go dive the site, which is they have some nice little underwater attractions there themselves. So you haven't been there, Nick, but you're based in Roatan, which is obviously a diving mecca itself. You have
Yeah.
some favorite dive
Look
sites?
behind me.
Yeah,
That's
what
the
do you got there?
visibility, every day.
Yeah, oh,
Nice.
great. You love that. Yeah, yeah.
80-degree water temp year round. I mean, 100+ foot viz.
Right.
It's
80,
a
80,
pretty
80.
awesome place to learn.
I have no doubt. I have been there before. It's been many years since we've been to Roatan, but yeah, it's some of the best diving you have in the Caribbean for sure. And how did you end up there? I guess I got asked too. Was it just you went there on a dive vacation, like, you know what, this will
No.
work? What happened?
My wife wanted to live by the beach, and I couldn't afford that anywhere in the States. And there were some certain political things going on at the time that I
Yeah.
decided to say, screw it. We sold everything and we left the country.
Ah, nice. Okay.
She saw Roatan on a show on HGTV, and we booked a flight the following week, and we made an offer on our house the third day we were here, and we moved down 3 months later.
How about that? Yeah.
I was ready to change paces. Like I said, it was a very selfish decision to come down here, but it turned out to be a very beneficial thing with what we've created.
Well, it sounds like it.
No, that
Yeah.
it doesn't sound selfish at all. It sounds like you
I'm
needed to
keeping it
change.
PC for you guys. Yeah, I definitely need to change. But,
Sounds like a great call.
Just to go on HGTV and say that's where we're gonna live. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
Well,
why not? Yeah.
we ended up being on a HGTV beachfront bargain hunt episode too. If you want to,
Oh,
go
really?
See that?
Oh, you're one of
Yeah.
those folks. Nice.
So he's
Yeah.
famous.
They do
Yeah, he's-
exist. Okay.
I have long hair. I hate myself so much watching it. It's,
Yeah.
Oh God.
Where did you move
It's
from?
horrible. Phoenix, Arizona. I was born and
Okay.
raised in Arizona.
Whoa, that's a completely
Yeah.
different area.
Yeah, very dry
Desert,
there.
desert to ocean.
Diving not
I
that
love-
great there in Phoenix. I'm just saying.
I did my advanced course in Lake Pleasant in
Yeah.
August. The surface temp was 92, and at 50 feet, I think it dropped to about 55 degrees.
Hmm.
Whoa.
And
Wow, that's a
weird.
big thermal.
Yeah, weird. I mean, you literally you're hovering there, and you can see the temperature difference with the water. And I was in a 3 mil wetsuit. I wanted to kill myself. I was
Yeah.
dying.
Mhm. He's
At
a
like
warm water
80
wuss
feet,
like us.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to pee every second just to try and get warmth in the
Yeah.
suit. And
Barry's doing that
Right.
right now. He's not even in the water.
That's right. I try to keep warm.
Thanks, Greg.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, you're definitely sound like one of us, Nick. With the exception of you have all this military experience, and you put that to good work with what you're doing in Roatan. I love it. Warfighter Check it out. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. We got to get back to Roatan, so maybe we'll meet up down there in Jules Undersea
definitely take you
Lodge.
out diving.
Yeah, we'll go do a dive in our neck of the woods, so to speak, and then maybe we can figure out a way to get over to Roatan, and you could show us around some of the dive sites there. Would you be up for that?
Oh, heck yeah. I mean,
Hey,
I
even
think
after
we're gonna be-
after hearing Barry and Jerry and me and all these guys, are you sure?
you guys would have fit in just fine in the military. Right? Yeah.
Oh,
we'd
boy.
be good. But I think we're going to be in your neck of the woods in August too, doing a fundraiser and a
August is
lionfish
good
derby
time.
as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we can look
So-
at that as well. But,
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be,
what we need to do, Greg.
Yeah.
Gary's line fishing
well,
tournament.
that could be good. But I'm just surprised he'd say we'd be good in the military. You think the brig? Is that what he's talking about?
I have no idea.
I'm guessing that's what it is. Once again, warfighterscuba.org. Check it out. Nick, thanks, buddy. We'll catch in or check in with you soon. There at Jules Undersea Lodge. More coming up. Stay close.